So morning yogis, just begin on your mat wherever you're comfortable. And just noticing also what you're dealing with in the body, if there's any, aches and ailments in the shoulders, knees, hips. Just being very gentle with your body today. And if there's a pose that really doesn't resonate or feel right, either please adapt it or just come out and do something completely different. I had a few ladies in my class yesterday at the studio, and they just lie down when they're not feeling like they can do something, if they've got a bit of sciatica or what have you. And I like that. When I see people adapting or just ducking out for a moment, that's Satya and Ahimsa in play. So just maybe close the eyes. We'll ground ourselves either through the tailbone or through the feet. And just come in and arrive in this space. As you sit there or lie there, just notice your vibration that you're in. Sometimes it's nice to use the word vibration. We understand feelings and emotions. But the vibration, we can either kind of be very low vibing or high vibing. Just check in where you're feeling today. How open does your heart center feel? And we can check through the rest of the chakras: root, sacral, solar plexus, heart center, our throat, third eye and crown. Just a mere glance, just to feel the energy there. And what do you bring to your day? What intention do you have for your day? I quite often like to come into my day knowing I'm going to feel good. I'm going to offer kindness, generosity where I can. I'm going to be peaceful with anyone and everyone, whether they challenge me or not. And it's really lovely to come into your day knowing that that's how you're going to plan it out. It makes you conscious as to when you do come up against certain scenarios and situations, you just might reflect back to your little intention that you set and act and behave a little differently. So just have a few moments to consider at the end of your day when you go to bed how you're going to be feeling. Peaceful and happy. So if you're lying down, just have a moment, hug your knees in. We're going to come to seated for our normal meditation. If you're already seated and you just need to kind of roll the shoulders or flex the back a little bit, just so that you feel ready to sit for about 5 minutes. And notice whether you get these moments throughout your week or even your day where you do set aside some meditation time. Maybe there's something else that you do that is meditative. It might be to just sit and look at your garden and listen to the birds, which can also be very, very calming and meditative. So I'll pop this timer on for 5 minutes. We're just going to sit and breathe and follow our breath. Allow the thoughts to flow through our mind and observe them without being attached to them. And just being curious and amused by how our thoughts come and go and flow through us. So just gently close your eyes. Try and relax your forehead and face. Take a moment to be aware of the movement of breath and movement of your body. And then just allow yourself some silence. Trying to be in the moment with your thoughts, not the past or the future, just in this present moment. Allow your breath to bring you back to the present. Just notice when you drop into those feelings of peace. And when you're feeling those feelings of harmony, know that you're connecting to Source. And just with one more conscious breath, we'll come back and blink our eyes open. And just notice what vibration you're in now, whether it just feels slightly different from earlier, perhaps a more peaceful, content, joyful vibration. A quote that I read this morning, which I can't remember who it was from, says that if prayer is talking to the universe, then meditation is the universe talking back to us, or something along those lines. I paraphrase that. But I thought that was really quite a lovely way of describing how meditation is and what it allows us to do. It is the universe, the source, having that silence and allowing any wisdom and inspiration to be spoken back to us. So yeah, I'll leave that with you today. We're going to come into puppy as our first pose. So just popping cushions aside if you're on them. Coming up onto knees. then just lowering yourself down. Hips are over knees. Bringing the forehead down. Just decide how much you want to stretch the arms out. If there's issues in the arms and shoulders, just be very gentle here. You might also find, if that's too intense, that you bring your head onto a block and it doesn't have so much of a pressure on the shoulder joint. So just explore what might feel better there. We won't hold this for 5 minutes, we'll just do a few minutes here. But if you can, relax through the head and neck and explore where you can allow the upper back to soften and sink. Trying to release any tension in your calf muscles where your legs are balancing the body. And just softening through the lower back. I just want to offer a variation to this. If this is very challenging on your shoulders, I'd suggest maybe just bringing the buttocks back to heels and coming to mantis, which is a softer pose. So I'll give you that option just to, like a child's pose. Whatever feels right. I often find that this pose really reveals a lot of tension that we might be holding in the upper back, between the shoulder blades, around that part of the spine. And it just allows us to let the chest sink to the mat. And try and notice what tension you may be holding in the neck. Deep breaths. Again, just relaxing the calf muscles if there's a tension there. And then when you're ready, we're going to lift the head. Just walk the hands back towards your body, and in whatever way is comfortable for you, just find neutral Shavasana. So we've started our practice today with quite a sort of a lovely back bend there. Not too intense. Just about 3.5, 4 minutes. Just check in yourself with how you're feeling. I find this does reveal a lot of what we hold in our upper back. Try and relax through the whole length of your back and lumbar as you lie here. And every out breath is that opportunity to just try and let go and soften, even if it feels a little bit unsafe initially, to relax the back of the body. Notice where your thoughts are. Just cultivate being the witness of your thoughts. Where was your mind just then? Was it now, or was it last week, or thinking ahead? Just try and be in this moment. And then when you're ready, hugging knees in. Right one, take your time here, especially if your lower back feels a little bit tender just as we start. And a lovely gentle rock. Maybe bring the head up just to stretch a bit more. How does your back feel today? Is it okay, fairly good, or suffering a little bit? We're going to come into open wing now. So because I'm lying this way, we'll start with the right arm extended out. Okay, so if you come onto your belly, right arm out to the side, fairly level with the shoulder, and then we're going to roll back ever so gently towards bringing that left shoulder back. Today you might find that you don't want to go too far in this. You can rest your head on the mat, try and relax the neck, and then legs wherever you find that they're comfortable. Sometimes you'll come into this pose and find that you can really roll that left shoulder back, and then other times you feel almost very flat to the mat. So just enjoy what feels right today. The main thing is that whatever shape you've taken, just try and relax everywhere. The tension as you hold the body in place. Your left arm can rest behind you or be in front of you to support your body. Try and relax your thighs and buttocks. If you find there's a tension holding the legs in place. It really is quite incredible the levels of tension that we hold, that we release, and then still find some. And don't go into too far into this pose that it hurts. Just explore a 70% stretch. So we'll gently come out of this pose. Release your left arm, and if it feels right to just roll onto your tummy for a moment, release out of that shoulder. And just roll onto your back. That was about 3 minutes, so not too long, but enough to enjoy. A lovely bit of stimulation there. So tuning into what you're feeling, lovely, possibly tingliness through your right arm, wrist and hand. You might even notice a slight bit of coolness. Really quite lovely for the arm meridians, which are the heart and the lungs, are the yin, and the yang are the large and the small intestine. Enjoy the deep breaths. And just feeling whatever sensation you had sort of gently fading now. And we'll hug knees in again, nice and gently, one at a time. Take the time just to rock. And even as you do this, notice what else you feel in the body, whether you notice sort of some tightness in your thighs. This whole practice is just about getting in tune with yourself and your body and your mind and your spirit. So when you're ready, roll up. And we'll come onto our belly. I'm going to just sort of come into the opposite direction. This time the left arm is going to be extended out. And just for the sake of the mic, I'm just going to flip it to the other strap so that you can hear me. I notice sometimes that the mic can get a bit muffled in certain poses. So left arm extended behind you, around shoulder level, but lower it if you need to. Just come into whatever feels right. You might find that your left leg is just sort of lengthened long and your right one is bent behind you. Whatever feels right. Noticing any difference as well, whether you find that you have a lot more range in one shoulder than the other. Range of movement. Keep relaxing. Look through the body all the time. Try and unclench the buttocks if they're tight from holding the body in place. If at any time you need to come out, please do. Relaxing your head and neck. Notice if your tummy rumbles a little bit, mine has, perhaps where we are stimulating the digestive system with the meridians through these arms. What's going through your mind? Just be really present with how you feel. And then very gently, just with one more breath, we'll very slowly come out of this pose. Being as gentle as you come out as when you go in. And then, as always, you know the drill. Find neutral spine. You might find that you kind of came into a very mild twist in that pose as well. So checking out what you're feeling in your left arm. Maybe there's a lovely coldness around your inner elbow. Maybe that extends down the inner forearm. Relax your back and spine. And as you always have these moments to reflect on how we feel, I always love to take the opportunity to affirm wonderful, good affirmations. Certainly the I am affirmations. I am well. I am wonderful. I am harmonious. Whatever comes to your mind, please take the opportunity to really affirm some good things. It's feeding your subconscious mind nourishing thoughts. So we'll now bring our knees in. Again, nice and slowly observe even the movement as you bring the legs up, how it affects your back and your thighs and muscles. Enjoy a lovely long sigh every now and then. It feels good. Roll up for gazelle. So come into just a seated position. Left leg's going to extend and then right leg we're going to bring round to the side. Everyone's going to be a bit different here. Some people will have the knee really kind of raised, or you might have the knee level with the hip. It might tilt your body a bit more. Some people may even be able to extend their knee right round sort of behind them. So I'm just going to come to where it feels comfortable today. And then leaning back into that left hand and arm. Have a real, if you need to, and if it is aggravating anything, have a really kind of tilt into this if that feels more comfortable. And just seeing if we can settle. If this really does aggravate anybody's knees, do come out. Maybe do banana, which will be a two-sided pose. But if it isn't painful, let's just sit with how our body wants to respond to the feeling of this shape. Can you relax the right hip, the right buttock and thigh? Be very aware of the rotation in that right knee. And can we relax into the body, the spine? How does the pose feel now that we've sat in it for a few minutes? And if you want to, just explore moving the leg further behind you if that is an option. How does this pose make you feel? Does it make you feel courageous and enjoy exploring what your body's limits are? Or are there feelings of irritation or impatience? Maybe tolerance? Just connecting. Notice if there's tightness in your belly as you breathe. And then when you're ready, we'll take another breath. And perhaps just lean to your left as you release the right leg and swing it round nice and slowly. When you hold these positions for a while, it almost feels like you get a little bit stuck there. So just take your time coming down. And as we lie here, we can appreciate everything that we're feeling. Appreciate our hips. Perhaps there's a lovely kind of coolness or feeling of chi moving around that right buttock, hip area. How about the knee, the inner part of the knee, outer part underneath? And relaxing here. When you're ready, draw the legs in. Nice, slow movement. Appreciating our lower back as the knees come into chest. And then let's come into gazelle the other side, exploring what sensation we're going to come up against here. Is it going to be the same? Is it going to be easier? Is it going to be difficult? Are we going to like it or not? So right leg extends, left leg swings back round. You might find that you have come into a really different starting position as well from the other side. The way your foot and ankle are placed on the mat might feel slightly different. So all these little changes and shifts. You might find that you have to lean a lot more. So just surrender into this moment. As always, if you're feeling pain in the knee or anything like that, come out. Don't want to aggravate anything. Draw your awareness to your left leg. And maybe try and sit with and follow the softening and the gradual stretch that's happening over time. It's very subtle, the easing. Following your breath. Just following your thoughts. As we just come into the last part of this pose, just see if there's any room for movement. And then with one more breath, we'll gently come out. Maybe lean towards your right as you start to release the bend in the left leg. Take a moment just to feel the extension of that leg and knee as you come down. There's mindfulness in everything that we do here. And just noticing the difference, perhaps from one side to the other. If there's any shifts that you feel physically, mentally, or emotionally. When we're moving the body, moving chi, it moves energy and emotion. So we can have certain poses that reveal some real deep feelings at times. Really quite surprisingly or unconsciously. So we'll draw the right leg in and left, really slowly observing that lower spine as we just rock inwards. You can flex the feet and ankles if that feels nice while we're doing this. And we'll roll up to butterfly. So we've taken the knees as in an external rotation. So we're just going to come into this position. Oops. For a few minutes. And just allow the body to soften. Let the head and neck really get heavy. Let the shoulders kind of round and slump a little. And how does this pose feel as a comparison? We all have our favourites or ones that we really don't mind. Where do you feel this most? Is it knees or hips or back? Can you relax the shoulders a little bit more? And your face. And slowly, just lifting up. And find neutral. As you lie back in neutral, I want to give you yogi's choice for the last pose. So lie down, notice how your back feels. Notice what your body might need next. A side stretch, a twist, raising the legs in waterfall, or a gentle back bend over a cushion with bench. I know a lot of us have our go-to poses, so just have a little think what your body needs. Yogi's choice. Just let the effects of butterfly flow through you. Might feel that in the lower back a little. A nice freshness around the groin and hips. And then hugging knees in. And then just make your way into the pose that you feel like your body might need. It might not be your favourite pose. This is the thing. It might be just a shape that you know that you need to make. I know that I'm going to come into waterfall. It's quite enhancing and supportive of the back, and it's a lovely inversion. But if you come into a pose and actually think, oh no, I need to change this, again, please do take this time to benefit your body. And whatever pose you've come into, try to bring the breath to your belly. Feel the movement of the breath come into the chest, up to the collarbone. Relaxing head and neck. facial muscles. If you want to adapt your pose in any way, if you're in waterfall and you just want to lower the feet but stay in this position, you can. Whatever pose you've taken, just think about what you really like about it. What do you most enjoy? Is it the physical relief? Or is it something that opens up something emotionally? Does it target the more spiritual upper chakras, the mental part of ourselves? So when you're ready, just gently coming out of that pose, I'd like you to just take a minute or so in neutral. Take your time just to place your body down ever so gently, nurturing your body. And feeling whatever you feel, where there is coldness or warmth. What chakra has that perhaps affected and encouraged balance in? And then when you're ready, coming into whatever relaxation position you want to. Have a moment to hug your knees in if that feels nice. Either coming to seated or remaining lying down with cushions and blankets and knee supports, pillows over your eyes if you want to. So as I let you lie there and relax, I'm just going to read you something that I wrote down from Joe Dispenza. He's a man that gives talks and an author on changing your thoughts, changing your mind, that sort of thing, the quantum field. Very, very fascinating man. And he was just talking about the old model of Newtonian way of thinking, which is cause and effect and how we change things in our life. And perhaps a new way of encouraging the life that we would like. And so I wrote down, word for word, change the way you think and feel and give thanks ahead of the actual event. So much so that your body is the unconscious mind, believes it's experiencing that future in the present moment. And your brain and body are changing to look at the event as if it is happening to you in this moment. I'll read that again to you. So having the ability to change the way you think and feel and give thanks ahead of time to the actual event, so much so that your body is in that unconscious mind, believes it is experiencing the future in the present moment, and that your brain and body are changing to look at the event that is happening to you in this present moment. The quantum model says if you can change how you think and feel, it's no longer about cause and effect. It's about causing an effect. Our bodies are miraculous. He goes on to say that our heart beats over 2 gallons of blood a minute, over 120 gallons of blood an hour, and the heart beats over 100,000 times in one day, through 63,000 miles of blood vessels, and the vascular system is 3% of our body weight, he tells us. I find it fascinating, these little facts. And so just take this time in the next 5 minutes to just be in awe and wonderment of the physical body that you reside in this journey here this time round. We might moan about things, but really we are quite miraculous beings beyond our physicality. So as you lie there, just be in awe of yourself and that you are a droplet from source and you are part of that source. So as you lie there, just contemplating yourself, I often hear a lovely way of describing our connection to the universe and source. If you imagine the ocean is the universe, source of all creation, that divine energy, and you put a glass of water in the ocean and you can lift it out, you're separating some of that water from the ocean only by a thin glass. But the water is the same thing, it's just a small part of it that can go back straight into the ocean as well, or even held in the ocean. Again, that glass is just that thin separation, but essentially the essence of what's in the glass and what is made up of the ocean or the universe is the same. Even a droplet of water is part of that vast universal ocean. So sometimes it's really quite nice to come back to thinking of all of the beings on this earth as all just parts of lots of little glasses of water out of the ocean. We're all part of the same thing, we're all part of the one source. It's quite nice to think more globally rather than locally at times and expand our consciousness. So when you're ready, take a few breaths, start to move gently. Hug the knees in. And sometimes when we think of how we judge people in the world as being bad or nasty or evil, perhaps we could maybe think of them as just a little bit of polluted part of the whole ocean, and that they just need a cleansing or to connect back with, the clean water that is. Just a little thought of mine. We're all part and connected in some grand way. So when you're ready, just rolling up to seated. Take a few moments to ground yet again. Nice deep breath coming back into your day. And then hands to heart center. Om Shanti. Namaste.